Today, we reveal the truth about the 8 worst packaged bread brands in the UK. From hidden sugar and unpronounceable additives to shocking sodium content and even sanitation scandals and product recalls. Stick around until the end of the video to find out the 2 best brands, the truly legit options that let you eat well and stay healthy. Number 1. Markx and Spencer. The only 5 ingredients fraud under official investigation. M&S has been marketing bread rolls with bold front-of-pack claims. Only 5 ingredients. It's designed to attract health-conscious shoppers willing to pay premium prices for clean food. But when Real Bread campaign investigators read the actual ingredient lists in June 2024, they found 11 to 15 ingredients. Trading Standards opened a formal investigation. Birmingham City Council is now examining whether M&S violated consumer protection laws. How does M&S claim 5 ingredients when there are 15? They count multi-flour as one ingredient, despite listing multiple separate flour types. They print sourdough on the front, despite back labels showing dried fermented flour, an inactive powder providing 0 genuine sourdough benefits. It's systematic deception, designed to trick you into paying £2.30 to £4.50 per loaf. But the in-store bakery fraud runs even deeper. M&S markets the bakery with phrases like oven-baked in-store today, baking now, always sold on the day they are baked. When investigators visited an M&S in Beckenham in June 2024, staff admitted all bread arrives frozen from an industrial facility in Wrexham, producing 75,000 loaves per week. Nothing is made from scratch on site. You're paying premium prices for reheated, frozen industrial bread marketed as artisan craft. That's why M&S earns the worst score. Systematic fraud under active government investigation. Number 2. Allensson. The ultimate betrayal of a founder's legacy. This brand represents the most profound betrayal in British bread. Dr. Thomas Allensson was a Victorian health reformer who fought flour adulteration in the 1890s. He bought his own stone mill to produce pure wholemeal flour and wrote, "When ground, nothing must be taken from it, nor must anything be added." That was his founding principle. Modern Allensson, now owned by Allied Bakeries, part of Associated British Foods, represents everything Dr. Allensson opposed. They use high-speed roller mills, not stone mills. They add multiple synthetic additives, and they employ the Chorleywood bread process, a 1961 industrial method that slashes production from 24 hours to 3.5 hours, using ultra-high-speed mixing, extra yeast, hard fats, and chemical dough conditioners. When the Real Bread campaign investigated Allensson's so-called sourdough, they asked simple questions. How long is fermentation? Are processing aids used? Allensson's response: "We don't ordinarily comment on the secrets of our baking process, so we'll pass on that one." Here's what they're hiding. UK law allows manufacturers to add up to 15 different enzymes per loaf without declaring a single one on labels. They're classified as processing aids that supposedly get used up during baking. The Federation of Bakers admitted, "We could not stop using them." Research published in Clinical and Experimental Allergy proved fungal alpha amylase remains active in bread crust after baking. Up to 20% survives. It causes allergic reactions and oral swelling. Another enzyme, transglutaminase, has been linked to triggering celiac disease responses. These aren't theoretical risks. These are proven harms from additives you cannot see because Allensson and other manufacturers lobbied for the right to hide them. Number 3. Warberton's, Britain's biggest baker, admitting industrial deception. Their website openly states, "To bake our bread, we use the Chorleywood bread-making process. We are able to produce more than 2 million fresh bakery products each day." But then they market these industrial products as traditional and from family bakers since 1876. Their original farmhouse loaf, £1.60 for 800 grams, contains calcium propionate, emulsifiers E472E and E471, ascorbic acid, palm oil, soya flour, and those undeclared processing aids. But here's what makes calcium propionate particularly dangerous. Harvard researchers at the T.H. Chan School of Public Health gave 14 healthy participants meals containing 1 gram of this preservative, roughly the amount in several slices of bread. Within 30 minutes, stress hormones shot up. Norepinephrine, glucagon, and a hormone called FABP4 all spiked, instructing liver cells to produce excess glucose. Your blood sugar spikes even though you haven't eaten sugar. When they tested chronic exposure on mice using human-equivalent doses, the results were stark. Significant weight gain and insulin resistance, the defining features of type 2 diabetes. Professor Gökhan Hotamishligil stated, "Understanding how ingredients in food affect the body's metabolism could help us tackle the dual epidemics of obesity and diabetes." With 9 to 12 million loaves sold daily in the UK and 3 slices of branded bread delivering consistent E282 exposure, millions consume this metabolic disruptor at every meal. But Warberton's most egregious deception is their so-called sourdough range. Real Bread campaign exposed this in June 2025. Sourdough but softer products cost £1.85 per 400 grams, £3.70 per 800 gram equivalent. It costs them barely more to produce than standard white, but they charge double because sourdough tests well with health-conscious consumers. And despite E282 supposedly providing 6-day shelf life, Trustpilot overflows with complaints. 2 loaves mouldy, well within best before date. Totally inedible, like cardboard. Tea cakes shrunk in size and soared in price. Number 4. Hovis. Heritage marketing for private equity products. Hovis markets countryside imagery, the iconic Gold Hill cobbles, and strength to the nation since 1886. The reality? Owned by private equity since 2014. Passed from Premier Foods to Gauze Group to Endless LLP, now being acquired by Associated British Foods. When Real Bread campaign tested Hovis White Bloomer baked with signature sourdough, they found 4% sourdough starter plus baker's yeast, E282, E472E, E471 emulsifiers, palm fat, and ascorbic acid. Price £1.85 to £2.15. When asked fermentation time, Hovis responded, "Recipe information is confidential." The Advertising Standards Authority received complaints in 2009, 2019, and 2023 to 2024 for misleading traditional, rustic, and artisan marketing. Despite documented evidence of synthesized emulsifiers and factory production, ASA rejected every complaint. In February 2024, they ruled Hovis rustic bloomers containing E472E could still be marketed as rustic and traditional because consumers supposedly understand Hovis is mass-produced. This is regulatory capture. The agency meant to protect you is protecting manufacturers instead. And here's why those emulsifiers matter. A French study in the BMJ tracked 95,000 adults over 7.5 years and recorded nearly 2,000 cardiovascular disease cases. E471 raised cardiovascular disease risk by 7%, coronary heart disease by 8%. A 2021 study in Microbiome revealed these emulsifiers irreversibly decrease beneficial gut bacteria, reduce anti-inflammatory fecalobacterium, and increase inflammatory biomarkers. Dr. Megan Rossi at King's College London explained, "Emulsifiers work like soap. They're also used in detergents, making your gut lining vulnerable to inflammatory microorganisms. You're eating substances that work like detergent on your gut 3 times daily." Number 5. Tesco. Identical additives in budget and premium ranges. This is where the premium pricing scam becomes undeniable. Tesco offers budget bread at 75 pence per 800 grams and Finest at £1.30 to £1.65. Compare ingredient lists. Tesco Finest White, wheat flour, water, yeast, salt, wheat bran, preservative E282, emulsifiers E471 and E472E, spirit vinegar, rapeseed oil, ascorbic acid. Tesco Standard White, wheat flour, water, yeast, salt, rapeseed oil, spirit vinegar, preservative E282, emulsifiers E472E and E471, palm oil, ascorbic acid. Same preservative triggering insulin resistance. Same emulsifiers damaging cardiovascular health and gut bacteria. Same flour treatment agent. The only difference is, Finest adds wheat bran and calls it sourdough, despite containing dried fermented flour providing no fermentation benefits. Tesco charges a 100 to 120% premium when both contain identical industrial additives and both use the Chorleywood process. An ASA ruling found Tesco guilty of claiming fresh bread baked from scratch in our in-store bakery, when only 504 of 2,362 stores actually baked from scratch. Most just rebake frozen loaves. Yet the deceptive marketing continues. Number 6. Kingsmill. Processing aids exploitation across every range. Kingsmill, owned by Allied Bakeries alongside Allensson, Standard White at £1.23 contains wheat flour, water, yeast, vegetable oils including palm, soya flour, vinegar, emulsifier E472E, preservative calcium propionate and ascorbic acid. The 50/50 healthier white, marketed as more nutritious, identical additives. The only addition is wheat protein and a higher price. But here's what makes Kingsmill particularly egregious. Allied Bakeries' own Allensson flour products explicitly list flour treatment agents, alpha amylase, hemicellulase, on packaging. This proves the company uses these enzymes, yet none appear on Kingsmill bread labels because UK law deems them processing aids not requiring declaration. Those enzymes persist after baking. They cause allergic reactions, but you cannot make informed choices when up to 15 ingredients remain hidden because manufacturers self-determine what qualifies as processing aids, then hide them from you. Number 7. Roberts Bakery. Family tradition ended. Corporate deception continues. Roberts marketed itself as a fourth-generation family bakery, baking since 1906 with traditional Cheshire values and regional pride. This image masked large-scale operations across 3 factories, employing 750 staff, generating £96 to £100 million revenue, and supplying 2,240 retail outlets nationally. When Real Bread Campaign investigated Roberts' products, Roberts declined to answer questions about manufacturing methods. They filed an ASA complaint, but Roberts removed advertisements during investigation, escaping accountability. Following a devastating June 2023 fire destroying 2/3 of production capacity, Roberts entered administration in October 2025. Beauparent Private Office rescued the business, saving 433 jobs. But the Roberts family no longer owns or controls the company. Yet marketing still suggests family artisan methods when it's now corporate operations using standard industrial additives across all ranges. Number 8. Sainsbury's. Better than the rest, still industrial. Sainsbury's earns the highest score among worst offenders because some taste the difference lines actually remove problematic additives. Their sourdough white at £1.80 genuinely eliminates E282 preservative and E471/E472E emulsifiers. This proves manufacturers can make cleaner bread. They just choose not to for mainstream ranges, because chemical shortcuts extend shelf life and reduce costs. But even premium lines contain ascorbic acid, proving Chorleywood process usage and likely undeclared processing aids. Their Tiger Loaf contains L-cysteine, E920, historically sourced from human hair, now from chicken or duck feathers. And standard Sainsbury's white at 75p contains E282, E471, E472E, identical to Tesco and every other major brand. While some additive reduction occurs in premium ranges charging 140 to 200% markups, consumers still receive industrially produced bread at artisan prices. Now here's what you need to understand about why this matters beyond feeling deceived. That Harvard research showing calcium propionate triggers insulin resistance, with diabetes affecting 1 in 10 UK adults, costing the NHS £10 billion annually, bread makers shouldn't be permitted to add metabolic disruptors to staple foods consumed by millions. Those French cardiovascular findings, with heart disease killing 160,000 UK residents annually, manufacturers prioritising shelf life over health represents corporate negligence. But there are two brands proving clean bread doesn't require premium prices. Schneiderbrot, German integrity at £1.10, available at Waitrose, Tesco and Asda for £1.10 to £1.40 per 500 grams. Whole grain rye bread. Ingredients: flour, water, salt, sourdough, yeast only. Completely free from E282, emulsifiers, processing aids, palm oil, added sugars and artificial additives. Genuine sourdough fermentation using traditional German baking standards. Dense, nutritious rye providing sustained energy. At £1.10, it actually costs less than Warburton's, while eliminating every problematic additive. This proves affordable, clean bread exists. Manufacturers just choose not to make it because industrial shortcuts are more profitable. Biona Organic, the gold standard at £2.50. Made in Germany by Family Bakery, established 1927. Complete ingredient list: whole grain rye meal 43%, water, sourdough, sea salt. All certified organic. Confirmed free from E282, emulsifiers, processing aids, commercial yeast, artificial additives, and GMO ingredients. 10 grams fiber per 100 grams, the highest among widely available breads. Biona's bread category grew 183% between 2023 and 2024, generating 2.3 million in sales. That explosive growth proves British consumers will buy genuinely clean bread when it's available at Tesco, Ocado, and Holland & Barrett. The only challenge is storage. No preservatives means 2 to 3 day fresh consumption. Solution: freeze half immediately. Slice first, then freeze. Remove slices as needed and toast from frozen. Perfect for avoiding waste while ensuring you never run out of clean bread. So check your labels this week. If you see E282, E471, E472E or E481, you're consuming ultra-processed bread linked to diabetes, heart disease and gut damage. Experience what bread should taste like: dense, substantial, genuinely nourishing. Or set up Ocado delivery for Biona. Your purchasing choices create the food system you want. And Biona's growth proves consumer demand for clean bread is exploding. Which brand surprised you the most? Drop your experience in the comments. And if you want to watch a video like this one, click the video on the screen. Thanks for watching.